Hello, my name is Sarah, and this is a video about the Amazon rainforest. So I've been making this video for a few weeks, which makes some of the information about the Amazon rainforest today no longer accurate. But it is to give a brief overview of what the rainforest does and what the burning of it can lead to. So if you find the video informative, please share it. This is good for people to know. Let's get into it. What the rainforest does. So every plant goes through a cycle of rain. They take up rain, which vaporizes into air, which then falls down to be rain again. One reason why rainforest trees are so special is because rainforest trees can afford to move and lose more water than other plants. This is because they grow in super wet soil. They are fast pumping trees and are exposed to a hot tropical sun. This means that the cycle of rain goes much faster for them than other trees. This makes so that, unlike other forests where the water is vaporized in one area and rains in another, in the rainforest the water stays in the same region. How air is created by them. The rainforest is extremely important to our oxygen. The full scope of ecological services that rainforests provide are yet to be fully comprehended by scientists and researchers. The rainforest has a huge positive impact on Western pharmaceuticals, despite only less than 1% of the flora in these forests having been tested by scientists. Rainforests are called the lungs of the planet for a reason. About 25% of the world's oxygen comes from all the world's plants. The rainforests are not only necessary for our survival by producing oxygen, but they also purify the air we breathe by removing many pollutants that accumulate in the atmosphere. Even our houseplants have the ability to take in pollution and turn them into food. Rainforests, which cover less than 3% of the world's landmass, basically work as a massive air purifier for the planet. Tragically, it is estimated that about half of the world's forests have been cut down, most of it in the past 50 years. Life in the rainforest. So is the Amazon rainforest just a bunch of trees which makes and purify air? Not quite. There are also a whole bunch of animals who inhabit these forests. In fact, 1 in 10 known species in the world lives in the Amazon rainforest, as do 1 in 5 known bird species. Capybara. I don't know how to pronounce that, but the animal is similar in appearance to a guinea pig and cavies. They live in the Amazonian wetlands. Giant anteater. They are a variety of sloths who eat bugs, including ants. The giant anteaters' tubular snouts and long tongues can catch the insects practically wherever they may be. Something unique about them is that they prefer to stick to the rainforest floor to roam searching for their meal. Green iguana. They are a favorite pet of many people around the world. These lizards, unlike many other reptiles, prefer to eat greens, fruits, and flowers instead of insects and other animal flesh. Harpy eagle. They live across much Central America in addition to the Amazonian jungles. Despite being skilled hunters, they face significant threats from human activities, especially those related to habitat loss, as large swaths of the Amazon rainforest are cleared. There are also indigenous people who live in the rainforest. There used to be a lot more, but they have not been able to survive because the land has been taken away from them. They aren't seen as citizens of Brazil, and they don't have a vote. What we are using the rainforest for. Every minute is the equivalent of 48 football fields of rainforest being destroyed. About 17% of the Amazonian rainforest has been destroyed over the past 50 years, and losses have recently been on the rise. This is from 2018. In the Amazon, cattle ranching and farms, particularly soy plantations, are key culprits to the deforestation. Not all deforestation is intentional. Most, however, is intentional. But some is caused by a combination of human and natural factors like wildfire and overgrazing, which may prevent the growth of young trees. Most of the deforestation is for cattle ranching and farms. Even the soy plantations is mostly used to feed animals who are to be made into the meat we eat, or the soybeans are made into ethanol. And the soil which they want to raise cattle on is not compatible with most plants. Hardly anything grows there because of the ashes and the fact that rainforest trees have really short roots compared to other trees. Why we are still using the rainforest even though we know of its effects. In terms of climate change, cutting trees both adds carbon dioxide to the air and removes the ability to absorb existing carbon dioxide. If tropical deforestation were a country, according to the World Resources Institute, it would rank third in carbon dioxide equivalent emissions, behind China and the US. Why we still use the rainforest, even though we know of its effects, is because of money. This land is seen as more economically productive when it is used for cattle than when it is rainforest. The Brazilian president has taken away environmental protections in Brazil. He fired the head of Brazil's National Space and Research Institute after he defended data showing that deforestation has grown 40% in the last year. The Brazilian president said that deforestation is down, which is a lie. He sees people who try to protect the rainforest as a threat. He sees it as a sign of conforming to internationalization. Now it is possible to sell trees and still end up with more trees than what you had before you sold them. Sweden, where I live, does just that. Our biggest export is wood in different forms. We make a lot of money off of wood. Yet Sweden has more trees today by a long shot than we had during the Vikings, a time in Sweden's history known for deforestation. But Brazil's president is not interested in the forest or the trees. His interest lies more in the land's economical gain, no matter the price. Large swaths of the Amazon are being burned. Fire is an unnatural part of the ecosystem in the Amazon. So many trees in the rainforest take a much harder hit than what other trees would from the same kind of wildfire. The number of natural wildfires appears to be increasing. Rainforests make rain, so when there's less rainforest, there is less rain and more fire. If the whole Amazon rainforest was just land for cattle ranching and soybeans, that would not just be a disaster for the whole world, it would be an even more of a disaster for Brazil itself. Brazil is actually closer to the equator than northern Africa, but because of the rainforest, Brazil stays much cooler. The rainforest actually helps the surrounding environment cool down, which means the more forest is taken away, the less rain, the more heat, and the worse air people in Brazil and all over the world will have. People in Brazil are seeing the effect on their largest city, where daytime turned to night because of the smoke. It lasted for about an hour. This fact is no longer accurate, but it was this way when I wrote it, so the number has increased. But when I wrote it, since Thursday, 9,500 forest fires erupted in the region according to Brazil's National Institute for Space Research. INP has also reported an increase in forest fires by over 80% from the same period last year. Environmentalists say humans are the root cause of the Amazon fires, not wind or heat. What we can do. The biggest reason as to why the deforestation is occurring is the meat industry. So the biggest impact you can have as a consumer is to eat less meat, especially beef. Beef found in processed products and fast food burgers is often linked to deforestation. It is dangerous being an environmentalist, especially in Brazil, so maybe donations could help as well. Donate to an organization you deem to be trustworthy. There are different sites where people can rate them to make it easier for you to decide which one to choose. The one I chose was the Rainforest Trust, which helps buy land in the rainforest. Since 1988, the organization has saved over 23 million acres. I want to give suggestions which feel possible to do, so some of these are ones which I have done or am doing myself. Reduce your paper and wood consumption. Double check with Rainforest Alliance that what you're buying is considered rainforest safe. You can also purchase rainforest safe products from the Alliance site. The Worldwide Fund for Nature, known as the World Wildlife Fund in the US and Canada, works to protect the species in the Amazon and around the world. Ecosia.org is a search engine that plants a tree for every 45 searches you run. So, explore change.org's petitions. A lawyer in Rio Branco has accumulated over 3 million signatures to mobilize an investigation into the Amazonian fires. If you want to see places you can donate to, places I've found other than the one I mentioned which I chose to donate to, I'll put them in the description below. Contact your elected officials and make your voice heard. Sign Greenpeace petition telling the Brazilian government to save the Amazon rainforest and protect the lands of indigenous and traditional communities. On June 22nd, we celebrate World Rainforest Day. I might just have a bad memory, but I don't remember much celebration going on this year. I don't remember many people talking about the rainforest on the 22nd of June. So that is a very, very basic place to start. Actually talk about the rainforest next year. Make sure you learn more about what is going on, what has changed, and if there is anything you can do. The Amazon helps us be able to stay alive, so we should do the same in return.